Okay, so my topic today is engaging in advocacy. And as was already mentioned, this is not going to be a lecture, but I would like to invite you to take an action perspective now. We have heard a lot about, like from an observatory perspective, from an analytical perspective of these political processes. But the question to me is really, what can be the role of public health professionals in these political processes? Last year I've been organizing this summer school in Bielefeld, and the title then was Taking Action on Health Inequalities. And I have to, now I have the occasion to sort of continue a little bit on that. I'd also like to refer back to the first session that we had by Antia, who was introducing the cycle to you, remember. The first stage was, do you remember? The cycle of health inequalities and scientific work or professional work on health inequalities. First step was the description. Second step was explanation, right? And the third was the reduction, so really the taking action on this. And we've heard a lot about the different social and economic factors for explanation, for description. So this is supposed to be an action part. Maybe we can just briefly define the term advocacy, because it's actually, there is no literal translation for that in German. So for our German participants, or maybe you have a definition, can we just circumscribe that?
Placing something on the agenda and mobilizing people, resources, in the pursuit of that agenda, whatever it might be. Speaking up for something.
Who are you addressing normally with advocacy work? Who would be your target group? Recipients and stakeholders, yeah, you're mentioning two different target groups actually. What I would like to focus on here is really the, I think that's what you mean by stakeholders, the more systematic level, like groups, like organizations, like political institutions, where decision makers operate or where decisions are taken. So this is really communication, health communication, aiming at the political debate and decision making. All right. I'm referring to a training guide on advocacy by the International Council of Nursing, and I will hand out the first paper to you. You have it? It's printed? I sent this beforehand. I got a different package, I think, from what you got. So, okay, then that's double. But anyway, if you don't have it present right now, just take it. So, this guide is actually aimed at health professionals in the narrower sense, let's say nurses, medical doctors, therapists, whatever. Of course, you as public health people might have a slightly different perspective, but I guess that people who have more a medical, clinical kind of background have more reservations towards this kind of political notion. To find it in advocacy, just have a short note. Okay. So you find 10 steps in advocacy on this paper that I've given to you, which are basically, it's not really a linear like ladder to climb up, but 10 different points to consider when you want to engage in advocacy. And I have copied for you the chapters that are there in this guidebook on the 10 different steps. And I will hand them out to you now, and like you to group in groups of 3, work through one of these steps that you will have. And then you discuss it, and I'd like you to design a message for this group from what you read in this text that I give you. So to come up with a key message aimed at this auditorium, so at a group of young health professionals, public health professionals, to engage with focus. Yeah? So this is like maybe a kind of role play, maybe a little bit twisted. But I'd like you really to come up with a message and sensitize you a little bit of how you can effectively use language to mobilize people for certain purposes. Since we're quite short time, this is really supposed to be only one message per group. So focus on one thing which you consider most important. And then afterwards I'd like you to present the posters and just give some brief explanations, but actually the poster should more or less speak for itself. To give you some more information on what to consider when you design a message, I've already designed a poster for you. Actually, can somebody help me to hang this up? Just hold it up. I hold it. Okay. So the first point is identify the informational needs of your audience. So the audience will be your group in this case. And what are their open questions on this issue? What are their feelings about this issue? Have they heard any rumors about it or misinformation maybe? And what could be their motivation to get active? Yeah. So I think I don't want to ruin the board. Okay, so consider your audience as a first step. And secondly, determine the ask. So what do you want your audience to do? What do you want your audience to feel, to think about this issue? So that it's not just about raising awareness of some kind, but also to ask your audience to get active. Third step is to draft a key message or key messages. For a poster, really, it's not very advisable to have too many messages on there. Actually, you really should focus, like we just heard, the 200-page TV strategy was reduced to 15 pages. So be really concise. Next step, choose an appropriate tone. What do I mean by tone?
Pitch of the voice.
Sorry?
Pitch of the voice.
The pitch of the voice, yeah, okay. So tone could be humorous, for example, or it could be very serious, very emotional. It really depends on your audience, of course, and also on the topic. Then, next point, reinforce messages with visuals. That's what I've been trying to do here on the site, yeah, to support your messages, because pictures are often or are much more easily remembered than words. Yeah? And last point, customize material to your audience and to the medium. We are very much restricted here anyway. We have the audience set, we have the medium set. It's going to be a poster presentation in 1 minute. Yeah. So try to customize them. Is that clear? Yeah? Okay. Then I will now hand out the paper to you. Papers. Actually, they are mixed. So you will get one step, let's say, text on one step. Please find the other persons who have the same steps. So get up from your chairs, move, and regroup. There are some where I've added some blue cards, but you will you have to read them together in your group. Okay, I will start here. Yeah, maybe you have your yes. Go to the other side. Okay, you have group number or step number 8. Find the other 2 people who have 8. Okay? Anybody have three? Okay. Three? What left here?
9, 7. 1, 9.
8.
10. 8.
8.
Okay, sit together in your group, please. 6.
7.
7, you are 7?
1, 1, 1.